So, Mike, someone's coming to a class. What should they bring?
First, I would like to welcome them to the class if they've registered and are watching this video in response to that. Um, in general, bring a good attitude, one that is excited to learn and get engaged into their landscape for whatever field of study that you've signed up for. On that, we do have a suite of earth living skills, they begin with survival and they evolve into something much more advanced and comfortable. And in those, yes, sure, expect to be out in the woods all of the time and maybe getting a little tired, worn for it, but you're always working your suite of skills in an environment that wants it for you as well as you want it for yourself. I mean, you're our product. We want you to come out of here knowing more through direct experience than when you first arrived. So I would say all of the classes you would benefit from bringing a journal with pencils. Pens gum up in the slightest of humidity or when there's extreme temperature changes, which happens often in Maine. So bring lots of pencils and a journal. And I say that because digi-recorders and taking pictures of things, it doesn't imprint it in here. It fades from memory. When you retell the story to yourself and you can revisit that story 10 years later, it's tactile and you're telling it in your brain, so you're hardwiring that knowledge. So a journal and pencils are a must, amongst all of the other stuff. Of course, bring your cameras and your recorders and everything you need. Some people are more auditory than tactile, and I understand that, but I really encourage the journaling as a practice to not replace the elders we used to tell stories around the campfire to, but to at least set that scenario up. You're writing to your 80-year-old wisdom keeper self. Bandanas are always a good idea. We use them for everything from gathering plants to filters before we pour things into jars. We use them for blindfolds. You can make a water filtration. There's always something you can do with bandanas. Bring at least one. And if it's in the cooler weather, coming into the fall and through winter, and even in the wet of spring, be sure to dress comfortably but appropriately. I would take at least 5 pair of good wool socks. You may not use all 5 pair, but it's better to lament you brought too much than to regret you brought too little. Feet are a big deal. Hygiene is a big deal. Little Germ-X goes a long way. And then the whole rest of it is, if it's a 2-day or a 5-day or the apprenticeship, your mindset is you're going camping for that amount of time. So how are you going to dress your own shelter, water, fire, and food? Now, we have water here, but the campsites are available for your tents, your hammocks, your tarps. Make sure you have a good sleep system. If you are worried about your back, we have 1 or 2 extra neoprene mats, but think about investing in an air mattress if you have to, but minimalist is better. Work your edge without hurting yourself. I don't want you to wake up the next morning miserable with a backache or that you couldn't sleep because you were uncomfortable. This is about learning, not torturing. Insect repellent or mosquito netting in the bug season. July is notorious. We have the shift change from the black flies of June into the mosquito crucible in the summertime. Ticks are a hazard. Lyme disease does happen in Maine, and it's not going away. So dress with that awareness in the classes, especially the herbal classes. We'll go into our own Lyme protocol. If you haven't had any exposure to Lyme disease, consider yourself lucky, but most people in today's world know of at least 1 or 2 people who are dealing with it. And there is a great amount of research, promising, solid research on the efficacy of local considered invasive plant species. So there are alternatives. Just bring what you know to help yourself. And the last piece, again, is that attitude of being engaged, and that is the fuel for our own agenda with that attitude, is to have you leaving here more empowered and more proactive in your own ownership for your health, as well as your own knowledge for the landscape. You're going to get about 5 years of homework in a weekend class and about 10 years of homework in a 5-day. But the good news is it's all fun, it's all engaging, and it empowers self-reliance. So welcome aboard, and if you have any questions, write me at staff@primitiveskills.com. We have a what to bring link on our website. It's a little hard to find. I think it's under about our school. But if you can't find it, I'll send you the link and I'll answer your questions. Thank you.